We're back. In episode 31, I said we'd be talking about the invader port to the BBC microbit, programmed in MakeCode Arcade and MicroPython. The BBC microbit is a microcontroller that was created to teach programming. It has a few onboard sensors, 2 buttons, a speaker, and a 5x5 array of tiny surface-mounted LEDs. It also has a very connectable edge that you can use to control other devices for physical computing projects, such as external LEDs, motors, or servos, just to name a few. It even has a built-in radio for communicating back and forth with other microbits. I'll show how that works later with a very cool example. I'm not sure why in these photos that they're showing the microbit as so big in these hands here. The device is not this large, it's actually more like it's portrayed in this image right here. So now let's take a look at the MakeCode Arcade IDE that we have seen in some previous episodes. Here's Invader running in the Web IDE's microbit simulator. I can move the turret back and forth, but I can't fire as I have no way to press both the A and B buttons in the simulator at the same time. And now we'll check out Invader on the microbit itself. This is a very simplified version of Invader, as the Invader doesn't fire. But if he reaches the bottom of the screen, it's game over. The turret can fire and score some points while playing. You'll see I have to press both buttons at the same time in order to fire a shot at the Invader. And he returns to the top of the screen. And basically, if he makes it to the bottom, it's game over. It'll show my final score. So let's take a look at the MicroPython version. There is a web-based IDE for MicroPython, but I can't get it to use Web USB to save my program to the microbit. Funny thing is, web-based USB works fine with MakeCode Arcade on my PC. It's supposed to work with Chrome and Edge browsers, but it's not working for me. So I'm using a utility called uFlash from Windows command line, and it works great, but it takes a while, as I think it has to also copy MicroPython to the device every time, as well as the program you're sending to it. But I did use the IDE for its awesome reference. I'm using Mu for my code editor. And now we'll check out the MicroPython version on the microbit itself. This version is a little more sophisticated, as I decided to use the microbit logo touchpad as the fire button instead of using the A and B buttons together. I also have the Invader firing at me this time. The touchpad has been added to the microbit in version 2, so I wouldn't have had this option using the original one. Yeah, we're down 1 life. There's 2. Oh, 3 lives. And there's our Invader. Game over. our final score. So other than Invader in MakeCode Arcade, I also wrote a little program called Controller and one called Robot. And you'll see what these are used for in just a moment. Okay, so Controller has been downloaded onto this microbit, and it fits in this little device that is a controller. And Robot has been downloaded to this microbit here, and it goes in this little device which controls 3 servos and is battery powered. This is a 3D printed robotic arm. So now I can control the robotic arm with the joystick on the controller. So you get an idea of some of the other things you can do with microcontrollers, including the microbit. So, next episode, I will be showing a port of Invader to the Nintendo Switch using the Fuse Switch app in a Python-like text-based language and using a keyboard connected to the Switch for text input. That about wraps up episode 32 of my journey in game programming. Please like and subscribe and leave any comments or suggestions you may have that could make these a better experience. Until then, bye. I'll talk to you next time.